Welcome. In this video, I'm gonna build a small form factor computer with 9800X3D and 5080. I chose ASRock B850i because it's a decent motherboard with enough heatsink for a good price. You can find cheaper AM5 motherboards with ATX size, but ATX is way too big for small form factor builds. By the way, the case that I'm using currently supports macro ATX, so you technically don't need to buy ITX, which is a little bit more expensive. Moving on with the CPU, I went with 9800X3D. I chose this CPU because it's one of the best CPUs you can get for gaming, and it was one of the reasons why I actually decided to upgrade my PC to this one. Here I am installing a CPU contact frame. The one on the motherboard is fine, but this one might lower the temperatures 1 to 2 degrees. This CPU performs well in the games because it has lots of CPU cache. Okay, I didn't tighten it even that much. Moving on with the memory, I went with Samsung 990 Pro 2TB version. This is kind of overkill for gaming, but if you are doing video editing, this storage can help speed up the process. Also, I was able to find this one for cheap, so I got this one. Moving on with the RAM, it was the hardest component to find for me. Micron, one of the memory producing manufacturers, decided to sell their memory to OpenAI instead of consumers. So currently there is a memory shortage, which resulted in huge increase in price for memory. On Shop RBC, I was able to find this RAM for 320 Canadian dollars, which was quite lower than the other ones at the time, especially for a CL30 memory. Usually people only look at megahertz values when they are buying their memory, but cache latency, the CL value, is quite important too. The lower the CL value, the faster the first word latency will be. And CL30 is a quite good number, so this RAM is usually more expensive than the other RAMs. Moving back to my Shop RBC story, they had a statement on their website that they may contact us and ask for more money after we order the product, which actually happened. They asked me for $50 more after I ordered it, and I had to say yes to them because at the time even a worse DDR5 memory was around $500. Moving on with the CPU cooler, I got Cooler Master Atmos 240mm. For those that don't know, this one is really close in terms of cooling performance to Liquid Freezer 3, which is one of the best AIOs you can buy. Moving on with the power supply, I chose Cooler Master V850. I believe this is the V3 version. I initially really wanted to buy Corsair SFX power supply, but the Cooler Master one was $40 to $50 cheaper. I didn't see any bad reviews on Cooler Master power supply, in contrast to Lian Li one, which people had some concerns about it, so I decided to save some money and get this one. Moving on with my case choice, I chose DeepCool CH 160 Plus. I was initially planning to buy an R200 case, as it is a classic ITX build with a good price, but then I saw this case. I think it looks much better than the NR200 one. In addition to looking good, you have more space to work inside here. You can actually install an air cooler instead of an AIO, and you can go up to micro ATX motherboards and ATX power supply, and it has more ventilation. So I decided to get this one. So I contacted DeepCool and I told them that if they're interested, they could send me one and I can make a review on it and build a case in it. And I'm actually also planning to maybe install a monitor behind this to make it like a portable PC or something. But they didn't respond back to me. I mean, what was I expecting? My channel has like 11 subscribers right now and I post some vector calculus videos, so that is weird. So they didn't respond, which I understand. cables are in front. Are you joking me? Why? See that these are in front. I would like to do an explanation for the front fan. So there are two brackets coming out of the case, and if you use both of them to mount a 120mm fan, the fan position is quite low and the bottom portion of the fan gets blocked. To solve this problem, I simply just used one of the brackets and used some upper holes to mount this fan. This way the fan doesn't get blocked. I think it's DeepCool's fault to not have more mounting holes. Let's install our motherboard. It's tiny. Okay, I guess this is how we are doing it. For the case fan choice, I went with something cheap, thermal right fans. I had some other options, but I really liked the ring lighting on these, so I got these ones. I can't say they are the highest quality case fan you can get. They feel kind of plasticky, but I think for the price I paid for 3 of them, it's actually a really good deal. I think the plan is that I'm gonna use some isopropyl alcohol to clean the thing. Like, this is too much. I know, I'm aware of that, but I have no more use for this. And more is like not gonna create any problems for me. I should have just removed this since the beginning. This is so dirty, man. This is way too much, guys. I 100% know that this is way too much. The cable management is done. It was a mess. It was a big mess. It's still a mess. I have some fire hazard on the back side of my GPU. Masking tape I had to. The HD audio is for some reason there. So yeah, anyhow, and the cables, all of them are in the channel up here. So what I did was I removed the radiator, I removed the top panel, someone hold the radiator for me, and I managed the cables there. My mic was off. It's working. We have screen. It's working. And lastly, graphic card. Initially, I had no plan to upgrade my GPU. I had the 3080 from before and I was planning to use that. But then there was some news. Nvidia is shifting their focus from consumers to data centers, which in result will increase the GPU prices quite a lot again. So I decided to buy a GPU if I find a good deal on it. I didn't go with AMD because I need the Nvidia CUDA cores for video editing and other softwares for engineering, and the least graphic card that made sense upgrading from a 3080 was a 5070 Ti. I was able to find a 5070 Ti at Micro Center for $750 USD. It was a PNY one. But when I went to the store, there was one 5080 for $1,000 USD. I was tracking the GPU prices for a while, and $1,000 USD for a 5080 might sound a lot, but it was the lowest price I was able to find. It's actually the MSRP price, but as usual, what happened to GPU prices, they went up quite a lot. So finding a 5080 at MSRP price is quite good. I got Zotac 5080 solid core overclocked version, the last one left in the store. So yeah, I don't know. Like, even if I move my GPU to this case, I have nothing in it. I have to duplicate the data from this ML2 I have to this ML2. After a ton of cable management and stuff, I am finally at a stage where I can install the GPU. So it has only 2 system fans, this mini RTX motherboard, and makes the job much more difficult because I didn't want to put so much load on just one fan output. Fire hazard. It's not ideal, but if you think about it, nothing about mini RTX is ideal. It does not make me happy that HD audio cable. That HD audio cable is looking bad. I have around 1 minute to record before I run out of space. Does 9800 X3 has iGPU? Bro, that's wild. Someone is listening to me. I said does 9800 X3D and then it just came. Lovely. To be fair, no one... I'm getting angry. So much fun. Bro, stop.